to lead.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, it's a beautiful Friday morning. Here in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria. I am Adesuwa Oseyi, and I'm going to be your host here on The Conversation, here on TOS TV Network. Before we get into what I have lined up for you today, Friday 19th, February 2021, I'm going to go on a quick break, and when I do get back, it's the time to take you through developments and stories and happening from across the African continent. Don't go anywhere.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget and the budget they lose, some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much we are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbenegbu, and I am the People's Journalist.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, it's still The Conversation here on TOS TV Network. Don't forget to follow us across all social media platforms, TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And on YouTube, it's TOS TV Network as well. Now, moving over to developments across Africa, starting from Uganda, where Ugandan court has denied bail to 36 supporters of Bobi Wine's party. Now, the Ugandan military court has for the second time denied bail to 36 members of the opposition party, the National Unity Party. The 36 members of the opposition party were arrested last December during the campaign rally of the musician-turned-politician Bobi Wine in central Kampala. Among those arrested includes Wine's music partner Ali Buchanan and bodyguard Edward Sebufu, who are facing charges of illegal ownership of ammunition. That is in Uganda in relation to, the recently concluded presidential election in Uganda. Now moving over to Kenya and Malawi, a UK company, Camellia Group, has agreed to settle legal claims from a number of Kenyan and Malawian women over gross human rights abuses and rape allegations. Now, the firm's guards have been accused of committing atrocities ranging from killings, rape, and other forms of sexual and gender-based violence. The macadamia, tea, and avocado company paid a total of over $9.7 million to 85 women in Murang'a County in central Kenya and Mulanje and Tayolo districts of Malawi. I like to see justice served, so I'm really impressed with that one. Now, moving over to, in relation to the African Continental Free Trade Area, the African Continental Free Trade Area irons out movement logistics. Now, with the launch of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the three regional blocs are accelerating the process of regional integration. The Council of Ministers of the Economic Bloc Southern African Development Company, SADC, Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, and the East African Community, EAC, discussed, amongst other topics, the draft guidelines of the three-part mechanism on safe movement in the region, that's in Africa. An important conversation in light of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to the approach to accelerating and implementing the tripartite free trade area. Now, moving over to another development, the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, has alerted 6 African nations over a new resurgence. That's in line with, the current Ebola outbreak in some parts of Africa. The World Health Organization has alerted 6 African countries to watch out for potential cases of Ebola after it emerged in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Guinea. The DRC, that's the Democratic Republic of Congo, declared the emergence of Ebola on February 7, while Guinea declared the outbreak on Sunday. We have already alerted the 6 countries around, including Sierra Leone and Liberia, and they're moving very fast to prepare and be ready and to look for any potential infection, the WHO's Margaret Harris told a Geneva briefing. I'm quite impressed at how proactive African leaders and, everyone has been in regards to health issues, ranging from the COVID-19 pandemic to Ebola, tackling it quickly before it becomes, another epidemic or another pandemic, in Africa. That's quite impressive. Okay, that's it for developments across Africa. I'm going to go on a break, and when I get back, it's the time to take you through what the dailies are saying this morning.
South Africa. East to West Africa. TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Watch us on television, channel 138 on TSTV
You can now
Africa.
catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live.
North to South Africa.
Watch out for the latest update on sport and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have
Let me
facts to
put it
prove
that
that?
way.
Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of 2 evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, the budget they look. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbenedion, and I am the People's Journalist.
Welcome back to the conversation here on TOS TV Network. Now moving over to the newspaper headlines this morning, starting with the Daily Trust. Very gaping headline on the Daily Trust today is on the Niger abduction of the Kangara boys. It says 52-year-old Kangara school in Sori State. The first rider, how I watched gunmen kill my friend. That's coming from a student of the school. Abductors operated for 2 hours. Police post nearby. That's coming from an unknown source. And police involve hunters in rescue mission. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust this morning. I think you should get yourself a copy so you would know, you read more on that story. On the bottom of that, still on the issue of insecurity, states to cede own share of ECA, others to arms purchase. Under that, why insurgency may last for 20 years. That's coming from Buratai. I think that's the former chief of army staff. Ex-custom CGD co Inde Junaid Mohammed die. Rape victim identifies neighbor among her kidnappers. That's quite sad, and that story is on page 22 of the Daily Trust. Now moving over to the very top, NAFDAC approves AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. That's for Nigeria. NAFDAC has approved the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. That's the vaccine that wasn't working in South Africa on the new variant of the South African COVID-19 virus, but NAFDAC has approved it for use in Nigeria, so I'm guessing vaccination is going to start in the country real soon. FCTA bans open grazing in Abuja. That's the farmer herders conflict. Nigeria exits recession, records 0.11 growth in fourth quarter. That is quite impressive. Moving away from the Daily Trust, I'm going to go to Leadership Friday. On the Leadership Friday, this is the only home we know. That is the very gaping headline on the Leadership Friday, today Friday, 19th of February 2021. This is the only home we know. Fulani headsmen share emotional stories of attachments to the South. Governors reject ethnic profiling of crime. Those are the two riders under that have very gaping headlines. And beside that, patients' relative groan as hospitals run out of bed spaces. Officials turn back patients, reduce timeline for emergency cases. And I'm guessing that, as a result of the overwhelmed healthcare system we're having to experience in Nigeria as a result, of the COVID-19 pandemic and all of that, hospitals are overwhelmed with patients and all that, and then so there's no bed spaces. This is quite a sad development, especially with people with underlying health condition. That story is continued on page 7 of the Leadership Friday. You should get yourself a copy. Under that, indoctrination, others feel terrorism. That's coming from ex-service chiefs. Expert divided over Nigeria's recovery from recession. Minimum wage, NLC orders workers in defaulting states to begin strike. 4 parties pull out of Yobe local government election. How Borno's IDP survive making Zana caps. After conquering cancer, Hadiza Yeru sets up treatment sector. That's quite impressive. And moving over to the very top, Nexim Bank declares 4.5 billion naira profit in 3 years. I return to Igangan if that's not a complete story. That's coming from Stark in Fulani. If you want to know what these conditions are, get yourself a copy of the Leadership Friday newspaper. Diko Inde Junaid Mohammed passes on. That's on page 16 or 18 of the Leadership Friday this morning. Now moving away from the Leadership to the Punch newspaper. The very, very obvious headline on the Punch newspaper says, Niger, Zamfara holds talks, trips locate students, workers in forest. That's still on the abducted Kangara boys in, Niger State. The first rider says, we've deployed more troops where abductees, kidnappers are. That's coming from our CP, I think it's Commissioner of Police. Bandits told students they were soldiers to provide security. That's coming from a resident, I ran in zigzag pattern to dodge bullets, escaped students narrates. To get insight into that story, get yourself a copy of the Punch newspaper. Now, underneath that, police operative fear as headsmen kill 7 in Edo State. Fire shade liability to PDP 6 ex-National Assembly member. Kwara set up panel over hijab agitation in public schools. Under that, governors pledge to compensate farmers, headmen clashes victims. That's on page 8. Worker falls from 8-story building estate tackles Lekki Gardens. That's on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. That is quite sad. I hope it's not too fatal. Fani Kayode visits Igboho, canvasses Nigerians to be permitted to carry guns. That's on the issue of personal security and having to protect yourself, because of the deteriorating state of insecurity in Nigeria. Fani Kayode rather is, advocating that Nigerians be allowed to carry guns for personal protection. On top of the Punch newspaper, this goes to pay for energy rejection, says NERC. Experts rate economy as weak despite exit from recession. So despite Nigeria's exit from recession, experts are still saying Nigeria's economy is weak. If you want to know why that is, you should get yourself a copy. NAFDAC approves AstraZeneca for COVID-19 vaccine. That's on page 8. And the last headline on the Punch newspaper this one says, power generation drops as idle plants rise to 11. So we have lots of more idle plants that aren't working, and so power generation in the country is dropping. That is quite funny, if you ask me. Moving over to the Blueprint newspaper. Baratai at Senate screening. Why terrorism may persist for the next 20 years. The first writer says, military approach alone can't win the war. Our forest remains sources of insecurity. Oloni Shakin is the one saying that. Police on area surveillance to rescue Kangara students. That's coming from the Inspector General of Police. Some governors playing politics with security. That's coming from Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello. That story is on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. Now, moving over to the very top, crisis looms over full price hike. NLC rejects deregulation airports concession. Federal government meets Labour, that's on Sunday. And then CBN stabilizes Naira with $10.31 billion in 6 months. Still on the top of the Blueprint newspaper, NAFDAC approves AstraZeneca vaccine for COVID-19. That's replicated across, all dailies or newspaper that I have read this morning. Jigawa Assembly okays death sentence for rapists. So now if you're in Jigawa and you're caught, you're accused of rape and you're convicted, not just accused, but convicted of rape, it's a death sentence. So mixed reactions as Nigeria exits recession with 0.11% growth. Buhari walking the talk. That's coming from APC. Q4 GDP reports, good news. That's coming from experts. And ACF backs INEX plan for more polling units. Under that, at the very, very, very bottom of the Blueprint newspaper, NEC okays compensation for victims of herders farmers clash. Delta auto crash claims 2 newborn babies and 4 others. Oof. We stand with Idris Mayamba's choice as new Mai Tangale. That's coming from the MBF. Now, moving over from the Blueprint, it's the Daily Times, right? The very obvious headline on the Daily Times this morning, governors query ECOWAS protocol on free movement over insecurity. That's on page 2 of the Daily Times. NSAS protest, Lekki Estate resident roll out conditions for toll gate reopening. That story is on page 10. COVID-19, NAFDAC approves AstraZeneca vaccine. That's for COVID-19. That's replicated also on the Daily Times. Violence, ethnic tension may take Nigeria back to civil war. That's coming from Abdul Salami Abubakar. That's former head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar. He's saying ethnic tension may take Nigeria back to civil war due to the current unrest, because former headers clashes turning into ethnic clashes, turning into religious clashes, and if it keeps progressing like that, we may have to be bringing up forward another civil war in Nigeria, and we don't want that. So we're advocating that something be done about the current state of unrest in the country, and then insecurity be curbed in the country. Now, the last daily I'm going to be looking at this morning is the Business Day. The very gaping headline on the Business Day says, Nigeria sees surprise exit from recession in Q4. Grew 0.11% in Q4 with full year at 1.99%. Beats IMF, that's International Monetary Fund, and World Bank estimates. That if you want to, read up on that, if you're, interested in knowing about the Nigerian economy, get yourself a copy of the Business Day. AstraZeneca approval marks COVID-19 exit for Nigeria. That is coming from NAFDAC. Those are the very obvious headlines on the Business Day this morning. And as I always tell you, you should get yourself a copy of either one or all of these, dailies newspaper that I've read out this morning to familiarize and to, keep yourself up to date with happenings in the country. You have to know everything that's happening in the country, right? And to do that, you have to get yourself a copy of the dailies and read up on that. But if you're not interested in getting the dailies, you can check out our website at www.tostv.network.com to get, intel on all of these stories I've read out to you. You can also follow us across all social media platforms at TOSTVNetwork.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now I'm going to go on a quick break, and when I get back, it'll be time to take you on the big story. The story of Lagos State cannot be told without the name Lateef Kayode Jakande. Though both his parents were originally from Kwara State, Lateef Jakande was born in the Ekpetedo area of Lagos Island on 29 July 1929. After his secondary school education in Lagos State, Jakande began a career in journalism, first with the Daily Service and then joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. In 1956, he was appointed editor-in-chief of the Nigerian Tribune by the owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. His editorials were factual and earned respect from the colonial powers. He spoke a lot about press freedom.
An attack on press freedom in any country derogates from the totality of press freedom in the world. All too often, media men in some advanced countries, because they were born into press freedom, adopt an attitude of indifference to encroachments on press freedom in other countries.
After leaving the Tribune in 1975, Jakande established John West Publications and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as executive governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform, where he defeated his opponent and was sworn in as the first civilian governor of Lagos State. As governor, he introduced housing and educational programs, established the Lagos State University in 1983, and built neighborhood primary and secondary schools. Some of the housing units attributed to him include low-cost estates in Amuwo-Odofin, Ijaye, Dolphin, Okeafa, Ije, Abeson, Iponri, Ikpaja, Abulenla, Ekpe, Aninkotamo, Surulere, Iba, Ikorodu, and Badagry. Also, as governor, Lateef Jakande started a metro line project to facilitate mass transit. He established 23 local government councils, which were later disbanded when the military seized power in 1983. That saw an end to Lateef Jakande's rule, where he was charged for treason, though later pardoned. He went ahead to serve as Minister of Works under Sani Abacha's military regime. His association with Abacha, however, brought a tarnish to his political career when democracy was restored in 1999. Jakande was a senior member of All Nigeria People's Party (ANPP), but was suspended in 2002. He also was the first chairman of the Action Party of Nigeria (APN) when it was formed in 2006. Till his death, Lateef Kayode Jakande remained very active in activities of Lagos State and Nigeria at large. He will forever be remembered for his impact in Lagos State. Welcome back. It's the big story. Time for the big story here on The Conversation today, Friday, 19th of February 2021. Now, I have a question for you. I have a question for Nigerians. Are you actually happy? Okay, so something happened. Amanda Iheme is a psychotherapy based in Lagos. Unapologetically shattered Nigeria's happy people facade in the public eye. Now, a syndicated public affairs program produced by Oya Media asked, as Nigerians, what do we actually have to be happy about? I'm going to, bring you that video for you to hear for yourself what she had to say.
When you look around, what are the signs that show us that we have a problem?
Anger, a lot of anger, suppressed anger, transferred anger, violence as a part of our culture, narcissism as a part of our culture, poor interpersonal relationships between spouses, friends, family dynamics, especially with family dynamics, very unhealthy, manipulative, controlling. People are not allowed to freely express themselves, to go towards the things that make them happy. There's a lot of restriction in terms of how we can be and how we can feel. And then when you now think about the political atmosphere and economic atmosphere here, a lot of people, more and more every day, are falling down below poverty line. People can't earn money to feed themselves, clothe themselves, to do things that make them feel happy. I don't think every Nigerian wants to be a millionaire. They just want to be comfortable, to be able to have access to water, to food, to light, to good roads and good care in terms of mental health and physical health. And some of us don't have those basic human amenities. So even our association with each other, the jobs we go to, people that abuse at their workplaces, the relationship they have with their colleagues are healthy, they don't know how to do their jobs well, they're not being guided properly, they're not being compensated well, they don't feel safe. The security crisis that we have, from the Fulani headsmen to the NSAS protest, when you have issues, who are you going to report to? No one can protect you, defend you, because even the people that are assigned that role are the people abusing you. So when you look at all these parameters, it's like, what then is making you happy? What do you have to be happy about? When you think about being a Nigerian, are you genuinely happy?
Now, if you heard everything she said, I'm sure as a Nigerian, you'll be able to relate to that. Everyone in that room, and like for me and the host of the program, everyone in that room could literally relate. As when I saw the video, I couldn't help but nod in agreement, because there's a lot happening in Nigeria at the moment. There's a lot that has been happening in Nigeria, and there's a lot of social issue, political issue, economic issue, all of that. And Nigerians are used to just, moving on from something without actually, fixing it first. So having to just move on from one situation to another one, and having to, put up a bird front, it kind of makes you suppress a lot of emotion, a lot of pent-up emotion, and then you start to see transferred aggression and everything, the workplace, at home, your family. There's a lot that's going on with Nigeria. And then I think it begs the question of, are we actually as happy as we claim to be, or we say, oh, Nigerians are not happy people, whatever happens, we just make fun and move on from it, and then we're back to being the strong people. We're very strong and resilient people. Are we truly happy? I think that is what we should be looking at how to be truly happy, and that has to do with a lot it trickles down from the top to the bottom. A lot of things have to be put in place, and personally, you have to ensure that you protect, your sanity, protect your happy place, and then heal. If you have to heal from anything, it's important that you heal before you just move on from it. So if you live in a place like Lagos, I'm sorry, apologies to Lagosians, but if you live in a place like Lagos, you would know that there are a lot of angry people in this country, like angry for no reason at all, and you'd be wondering, what did I do? What happened? Why is that guy? Why is that lady so angry? It just goes down to what Amanda said. A lot of suppressed anger, suppressed emotion, pent up everything, and then it just begins to tell over time. So we need to be truly happy, and we need to truly, deliberately work on being very, very, and being actively happy. Now, moving over from that story, I'm going to look at something that made wave or trended a short while ago. It's an aftermath of the NSAS protest. No, not the Occupy Lagos protest and all of that. It's Falz, a bad guy. Folarin Falana, the popular musician turned activist, lawyer turned musician turned activist, Falz the bad guy for Larry Falana. Now, you know, the 30-year-old rapper, you know, when he decided that he was going to be part of the NSAS protest, he was going to advocate, you know, he was going to be at the forefront. Little did he know, you know, that it was going to be a defining moment in Nigeria for contemporary youth activism. Now, but would you vote Falz the bad guy for Nigeria's next president? Because, you know, during the NSAS protest, when a lot of Nigerians were asked, what do they think about Falz the bad guy, a lot of people came out to say, oh, they would actually vote him for president because of how he was in the forefront, how outspoken he was, how he took it upon himself, you know, to break down a lot, especially, you know, the legal implication of things, the legal aspect of things, you know, because he been very well enlightened in that aspect, and he didn't just want Nigerians to just go out without knowing the implication of what they were doing. So he took it upon himself to be the people's advocate, both politically, both, you know, in the legal aspect, and also being in the forefront. And because a lot of persons saw that, they were like, oh, Falz for 2023 president. So, but let's not forget that the NSAS protest was partly an agitation for increased youth involvement in national change. The level of organization and accountability maintained by protesters was commended by high-profile figures, proof that the youth can indeed assume the mantle of leadership. Before the protest, NSAS was already a hashtag, but it took Falz, you know, and other celebrities, because we had Wizkid, we had Brother Boy, we had Timi Dekolo, you know, lots of persons did what they could do in their own little kind and in their own little way to make it, you know, profound, and that actually made it a global trend. Everyone was talking about it, from celebrities, Hollywood celebrities, to, you know, across Africa. Everyone, notable figures such as Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Beyonce, Anthony Joshua, Tyler Perry, and Drake, amongst others, you know, spoke about it. But would you actually vote Falz for president in 2023? You know, Falz is young, intelligent, articulate, and represents a break from the norm. He has quite a number of following on Instagram. I think over 7 million now on Instagram, and then I think over almost 30,000 on Twitter. So he has the following, he has intellect, he can lead and all of that. So would you actually vote Falz the bad guy to lead us in 2023? Would you front him? I want to hear your response, and I want to know what you think about it. Comment somewhere down here, you know, go on our social media page, TOS TV Network, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Drop your comment, drop your responses. I want to know if you would actually do that, front Falz bad guy for president in 2023. Also, check out our YouTube channel, TOS TV Network on YouTube, for lots of interesting and engaging programs. Don't forget to check out our website at www.tostvnetwork.com for everything. I mean, everything that you want to know that's happening from across the globe. I am Ade Suwonsoyi. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. See you on Monday. The story of Lagos State cannot be told without the name Lateef Kayode Jakande. Though both his parents were originally from Kwara State, Lateef Jakande was born in the Ekpetedo area of Lagos Island on 29 July 1929. After his secondary school education in Lagos State, Jakande began a career in journalism, first with the Daily Service and then joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. In 1956, he was appointed editor-in-chief of the Nigerian Tribune by the owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. His editorials were factual and earned respect from the colonial powers. He spoke a lot about press freedom.
An attack on press freedom in any country derogates from the totality of press freedom in the world. All too often, media men in some advanced countries, because they were born into press freedom, adopt an attitude of indifference to encroachments on press freedom in other countries.
After leaving the Tribune in 1975, Jakande established John West Publications and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as Executive Governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform, where he defeated his opponent and was sworn in as the first civilian governor of Lagos State. As governor, he introduced housing and educational programs, established the Lagos State University in 1983, and built neighborhood primary and secondary schools. Some of the housing units attributed to him include low-cost estates in Amuwo Odofin, Ijaye, Dolphin, Okeafa, Ije, Abeson, Iponri, Ipaja, Abulenla, Ekpe, Aninkotamo, Surulere, Iba, Ikorodu, and Badagry. Also, as governor, Lateef Jakande started a metro line project to facilitate mass transit. He established 23 local government councils, which were later disbanded when the military seized power in 1983. That saw an end to Lateef Jakande's rule, where he was charged for treason, though later pardoned. He went ahead to serve as Minister of Works under Sani Abacha's military regime. His association with Abacha, however, brought a tarnish to his political career when democracy was restored in 1999. Jakande was a senior member of All Nigeria People's Party (ANPP), but was suspended in 2002. He also was the first chairman of the Action Party of Nigeria (APN) when it was formed in 2006. Till his death, Lateef Kayode Jakande remained very active in activities of Lagos State and Nigeria at large. He will forever be remembered for his impact in Lagos State.